Hey, what's going on, everyone? We're back at our old shooting grounds here upstairs in my office. Today's question we're answering for you, this was asked in my YouTube live a couple nights ago, and the question was, what do I wish I knew then that I know now that would have helped me with my career? Now, there's a lot. I've learned a ton over I've been out of baseball now for basically 9 years playing. My last year was 2013. And I've been around the game every single day, and I've seen the game from a different perspective than as a player. And I've learned a ton about the game, learned a ton about everything. Experience is always obviously a huge teacher. And so just being around the game, the amount that I have been over the last 9 years, I've learned so many things about it that would have helped me during my career. And it's one of the reasons why I enjoy coaching so much. And it's one of the reasons why I talk to players so much about being open to coaching, because as a coach, you're just around the game a lot more. You've learned a lot. You've been through tons of experiences. And so I enjoy being able to try to pass those experiences on to players that have not yet experienced those things. So with all of that being said, there's a ton of things that we could talk about, but here are the things that kind of come to mind for me. The first thing and the biggest thing is, from an offensive perspective, from a hitting perspective, just understanding my swing better. Back then as a player, I did not understand my swing at all. I could not tell you really what my swing looked like or why I was successful or unsuccessful. Now, it's a different time now, right? There's so much more information now than there was when I was a player. When I first started to really struggle at the end of 2007 and then throughout 2008, the information that was being presented to players, the information that you could get your hands on was limited. And it's crazy to think, I guess, well, in some ways it feels like it's not that long ago. In some ways it's a real long time ago. But I didn't know anything really about hitting. Sean Wooten in 2008, late 2008 during that season, was the first person to really talk to me about hitting mechanics in a way that I hadn't been told before. What I was used to always hearing was the very simple things, right? So, if I hit a ball up, people would say like, you're dropping your back shoulder or swing down on the ball, like those real simple things that you hear if you go to really any Little League game still probably today. Those were the things, even at a really high level, that I was being told. And so I didn't know anything about the swing. And sometimes I get frustrated when I talk about things in our videos, or I talk about hitting. And people will say, well, if this stuff worked, then why didn't you hit better during your career? Well, first of all, people weren't really talking about a lot of these things. And second of all, none of this information was around. The data that we have now, whether it's through bat sensors or whether it's through all the information that MLB is able to obtain through all of their technology, whether it's through slow motion video that we didn't really have back in the day. I never really watched my swing at all during my career on video. That's crazy to think about. I never really broke down my swing, whether I was doing well or doing horrible. I didn't know what I was doing because I didn't watch video. There was not very much video being taken. And even if we did have video, I had no idea what to look at. And I can remember vividly people saying to me when I was struggling, well, why don't you just go back to doing what you did when you were being successful or when you were successful? And I said, I don't know why I was being successful. I have no idea what I was doing. How do I go back to something that I don't know that I was doing in the first place? So that's the biggest thing and the easiest thing. I just wish I had the knowledge in hitting, which again is unfair to say because there's no way I would have. All of the players that I've taught, all of the swings that I've looked at and studied, I've done that now every day for 9 years. So my knowledge of the swing in general is just so far beyond what I ever knew. It was almost a zero back then. And I still have a lot to learn. But that's probably the biggest thing that I wish I knew. The second biggest thing that I'll say is, as I've gotten older, more mature, I really wish that I took more control over my career, in the sense that one thing that held me back at times was my defensive ability. And I've said this in other videos. I wish that I was more proactive in going out and getting people to help me defensively, and going out and grabbing coaches and saying, I need 100 ground balls a day or 200 ground balls a day. I need to get better at defense, and putting more work towards that. I always felt like when I was working on my defense, I was working very hard. Like I was very diligent and focused, and I was going through my work as hard as I possibly could. But there were times where I could have done more, but in order to be a good defender, at that level, in order to be a great defender, I had the people around me, the resources around me. I had coaches around me. But sometimes I would feel, yeah, I don't want to ask that coach for extra help. Oh, I don't want to bother that coach. When now I look at it and I think, well, one, I think coaches are there to help you, right? And so if I asked them for more help, for extra work, for more ground balls, they would have done that for me. If they didn't want to do that for me, my mentality has changed to think, who cares? It's my job to be the best player I can be. It's their job to coach me. Who really cares if they want to do it or not? Just ask them and make them hit you more ground balls and do more work. So I should have done that. And if I could go back now, I probably would have been more assertive and asked for more help because I needed more help defensively. Defensively, if you look at my game, I was always more of an offensive player than a defensive player. I know some people will look at my stats and say, well, you had some bad offensive years, and I did. But I would say most of my life, I was always a better hitter than I was defender. And so I needed to put more work towards it. And again, although I worked hard, I should have doubled my reps, tripled my reps. I should have hired somebody to come and be my personal, if I could do it again, I'd hire someone to be my personal infield coach, just hit me 1,000,000 ground balls a day. I would have moved down south and been in warm weather all winter long and taken 5,000,000 ground balls. I should have done that. Again, easier said than done. At that time, my family was up here, my wife was up here, right? And so it's hard to say. It's easy to say now, like, oh yeah, we should have just packed up and moved down south and lived in a baseball field, right? It's easy to say that when, I'm sitting here now and not actually at the present time if we go back to 2007, 8, 9, 10, all those years. But that's what I would do if I could rewind time. I'd hire my own personal coach and I would just have them be hitting me 1,000,000 ground balls because I'm willing to do the work. I was willing to work really hard, but I should have been more proactive and getting other people that could also help me become a better defender by just smashing me ground balls over and over and over again until my defense caught up to my offense. So those really are the two things. If I could have had the knowledge that I have now in hitting, would have made me a much better hitter. And if I could have had my personality might not be the right thing. I guess maybe it is, as I've kind of matured and been more proactive, been a little bit more assertive, and got more done on the defensive side of the ball, got in even more reps. I think those would have probably been the two things that it would have changed most about my career. So that's all I got. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, give a thumbs up, all that good stuff. We'll talk to you later. If you've got hitters that you're looking to improve before the start of next season, this is essential for you. Matt Antonelli here, former Major League player, first-round pick, and college coach. With this course, we're going to show you exactly, step-by-step, how to generate power, develop bat speed, and enhance swing mechanics. Regardless of your hitter's age, this course is going to deliver advanced hitting techniques that will allow any hitter to get better and make an impact at the plate this spring. We have a full catalog of training content that you can access from anywhere at any time. This course is perfect for players, parents, coaches, instructors, and more. It offers a comprehensive package of drills and techniques that you can directly implement. Our course has helped hitters all over the country at different competition levels, and the feedback that we've received has been outstanding. The work you put in now will drive your success at the plate this spring. Get the essential knowledge that you need to take your game to the next level.